David, good afternoon, good morning. We're close, right? Right on the board. Good evening. Yeah.
Since it is an OTA, and before the first question, actually, your thoughts on cracking the top 10 for hottest coaches in the NFL?
Really?
Yeah.
Tad failed to mention that.
People magazine hot.
What can I say?
You were 6.
Okay, well, good. It's about time you guys got something right.
Bad news was it was behind Andy Reid, but you were
Okay, well. Can't argue with the winner, so.
No. When we've talked to you before, but when you at this stage of the offseason program where it's voluntary and you have key players missing for different reasons, whether it's contract or CD or some opportunities that come up with Micah, how much do you interact with them and what do you ask of them to do when they're not here, or do you leave that to them and the position coaches, or how?
No, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody has a responsibility. I mean, this is our jobs. Obviously, we have this period of time to do football activity, that's regulated. So, I mean, I don't want to say unfortunately, but 98% of our football team's been here, 100% of the time. So, we've accomplished a lot. Frankly, I mean, yesterday's practice was a barn burner, just as far as just the energy that the receivers and the skill guys are putting into it. So we were just really cutting back today. So, but yeah, I mean, everybody has a responsibility, whether they're here or not here, to get what they need. Because when we hit Oxnard, that's our one opportunity for real football, and that's the way we approach it. So yeah, I have confidence that everybody's going to be ready to go when we get there.
And you periodically check in with them just by text or
whatever.
whatever.
Absolutely, yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, it's.
Clarence Hill, you done?
I don't know. Can I take a few more?
We'll come back.
That's a side thing. With Clarence Hill, start talking about with Michael being back, how does he look? What has he missed? And what's that been like?
Yeah, I mean, Mike is looks to be in really good shape. So, but it's a new defense, so we have work to do.
How much could he take in? Did he have the playbook before, and how much could he do on his own? And how behind is he? I guess we'll ask.
Well, I think like anything, he's engaged. We'll be ready when it's time. So I have confidence in that.
Mike, Todd Archer with ESPN. You mentioned after Mike's rookie year that his next step is, as a great player, is to bring guys along with him. Has he missed any opportunity to do that by not being around these last couple off seasons as much?
Well, I think anytime you have a chance to to be together, it's an opportunity to improve, whether it's in the mental realm, the physical realm, which is limited obviously this time of year, but in the emotional connection and so forth. So, but it's a long year. Training camp is really the heightened focus for all that. But yeah, it's definitely an opportunity that's been missed.
And is he here today? Will he be practicing today? Will we see him out there?
What was that quote you gave me? Walk in here.
What do volunteer?
He was talking about some historical quotes earlier. I saw. You were here? Okay.
Michael Galkin, Dallas Morning News. With the decrease in the competitive aspects of what a spring program looks like today compared to years ago, do you find that you know less from an evaluation standpoint about the team you have going into camp than you would in the past? And so how does that?
Yeah, no, that's true. I think like anything, there have been evaluations in my personal experience that they were not accurate based off of helmets and shorts over my time in this league. So the level of competitiveness being less than that period of time in helmets and shorts. So, I mean, there's still a variable there, there's still a gap, because at the end of the day, the padded practices are the most important practices in our training preparation that we have and carry the most weight, outside of the games. So as far as how you evaluate players, but yeah, I get it. It's different, but it's been going on. It's been going on for some time now. So
with the weather Tuesday and the power outage here,
yeah.
How did that affect and what adjustments had to be forced?
Well, a lot of guys made it in. We had some guys with travel issues and so forth, but we had the media day was was part of the work Tuesday, so we were able to get some of that done and push the remainder of it to Wednesday. So, but football wise, we're in good shape.
John.
John Michaud with The Athletic. The NFL Players Association is considering a proposal to possibly move back OTAs and minicamp into like basically July to give the guys a longer off season, and then just it would be more of a ramp up to training camp as opposed to having that break in between the two. Do you think that would be beneficial, or do you think it's better off the way things are right now?
Well, you asked that with a straight face, John. It was impressive. It was. Yeah, I think it's just like anything. Hypotheticals are what they are. I mean, that's a hypothetical. I hope doesn't happen, but I think any coach would feel that way. But at the end of the day, I don't know what the proposal is. I don't know the nuts and bolts of it. So just like everything, the league and in the union, when they interact on it, there's a lot of studies and a lot of education and that goes into it. So I'd be curious into why. So. But yeah.
But in the current way it's structured, is it good to have that break, 6 weeks between the end of minicamp and training camp?
Well, the reality of it, I mean, when you look at all the variables in training your football team to get ready for a season, there is angulation in your training. Rest recovery is part of it. In the reality of the current state that we're in the CBA, you have to have the involvement and understanding that your players are going to have external resources to train with, and we've talked on that time and time in here, and we're so fortunate for the city that we live in because our resources are abundant. I mean, our resources are so abundant. You have a lot of NFL players from other teams that come here to train, so that's already part of it. And that's really, I spend my time talking particularly to the rookies, and just using the term car wash to make sure that they have things lined up because that's just the state that we're in. So whether it's 5 weeks, the timing of it, to me, it's irrelevant because it's never going to be set up. I know in my lifetime, just the way this, it's gone is that it's going to be a total internal, training. Method for the players to do it at the organization. So there's always going to be externals and internals. So that's really what I focus on. So how they organize it and why they organize it, I'd be very curious to see their why.
Jane.
Coach, Jane Slater, NFL Network. I just wanted to circle back. So Micah Parsons is not here today.
I'm not doing attendance. Yeah, that's we try to have some lightness to it. I'm not going to come up here and talk about one player, especially when, there's 98% of the guys are here.
Assuming that he isn't here, how important is it for him to be around defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer, given that he's, needs to get to know his guys, team chemistry, et cetera?
Definitely.
If any relationship that they had so far.
Yeah, I mean, that interaction is going on. And and like I said, I feel confident we'll be ready to go.
Garrett.
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Mike, Ezekiel has been back in the building for about a month. How's his reacclimation process to your offense been, and what have you seen from him so far?
I mean, in a lot of ways, it just feels like Zeke really never left. I mean, there's things that are different. So, I mean, he's had some new learning, schematically, language and things like that. But, the foundation of, what he's done and frankly, probably his experience in New England. So to learn another system. So, he's picked it up seamlessly. So, looks good.
Nick Harris, DallasCowboys.com. Is there any concern with Osa to ease his injury, or is it more precautionary at this point?
Just playing the long game. Yeah, no, he's Osa's always going to train, so he's here every day. So there's no long-term concern.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. How has Mozzie Smith grown away from the field, his maturity level?
Definitely. I mean, he's obviously. I think just like any player, particularly young players, when they go through an injury situation, they have the operation, they go through the rehab, and then then you got the new defense and so forth. But very diligent young man. I can only tell you, based off of the time since he's been back. So he puts in the extra time. Both with the coaches and in the rehab group. So and he's also doing some things away from here too. So I feel like he's on a good path.
How tough was it from last year? Because I think his shoulder might have been a little bit of an issue in terms of the strength that you wanted to see, and how did you get through that?
Well, I mean, it obviously didn't help him, so I just think like all the rookies, it's their starting point. So there's definitely things that he'll have, from an experience standpoint to learn from and apply, and being in a different, system of defense. So he's got some new learning to do. But yeah, no, I think you chalk it up as a good experience.
Clarence.
A couple of weeks of OTAs, how has Trey Lance looked? How much, have you seen significant progress from what you saw?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think just like anything. I mean, you talk about a young quarterback that comes into a new system, so you got the learning curve, but now starting to get the timing with the routes, and he's thrown to a lot of new players too. So, there's always thresholds and reps that go into that too. So, but no, he's I'm going to say he's close to being master of the system. He has a really high understanding. He's communicating very well, and he looks more and more comfortable. He just needs reps. I know I give that answer every time I talk about him, but he just needs as many reps as he can.
Todd.
Mike, you talked about the running back by committee. Can you define what's that vision? How do you look at it? Is it because you had two guys the last few years, with Zeke and Tony and things, but you never had that third guy. Is that what the committee is? Or is it when you get to that third guy?
2 or 3, whatever it takes, right? 221, 220, somewhere in there. But no, I think that, I don't think it's limited to. I think like anything, it's. I know my experience. The 17th game is real, and really I think the 16th game has really kind of changed it. When it is really, I know when I started really paying attention to the carries for running backs over the course of the year, because we all understand what playoff football and at the January and December football is like. So I think you have to pay attention. So whether it's 2 or whether it's 3, I mean, to be honest with you, the players will determine that.
And your thoughts on where Rico is, and obviously being able to stay healthy has been his biggest issue.
Yeah, definitely. He's had a good offseason, looks great. And I think just like any time these guys have a chance to really hone in their training. So Rico's done an excellent job there. Very comfortable. He's very, very bright, very instinctive football player. So he's definitely one of the lead guys in the room, as far as his experience here, but also his understanding of the offense.
On Osa again,
yeah.
He at times has been guilty of anything of overtraining, just the way that he attacks the offseason. Are there any benefits? Well, obviously, you prefer for all 90 to be healthy. Any benefits for him to just kind of take a step back, kind of reset physically before he gets cleared for the full bill of health?
Well, I just think it's like anything. I mean, every one of these, these professional athletes, there's a customized plan for them, in their training, and Osa's no different. But because Osa's always going to work, and that's just the way he's built, it's the way he's wired, and that's how he's been every single day since he's been here. So now, how much he's working and what exactly he's working, that's really what he's going through right now. Because just being smart, because we don't want this to reoccur, this injury. So, but yeah, I think just like anything, that you got to really understand that we don't just have a blanket workout for everybody, and obviously, as we talked about already, the external things that they have involved, it's all going to be coordinated, so we don't fall into a potential overtraining situation.
All righty. Thank you.
All righty.
Thank you.